Alright, hi everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that fun stuff. I got another video to do. It usually winds up being around this time of year that I do a batch of Crumrine straps. And part of the reason for that is that they have my leather supplier usually gets a decent shipment of leather in for Black Friday deals, and also with my real job I have more time to spend on these over the holidays because they take a long time. My holidays are a little easier for me. I get time off. So that being said, there are a few features. I don't know if I filmed a video on my Crumrines before, what I do with them. The nameplate's upside down. I don't do that. That was an accident. Sorry. But yeah, so I figured I'd do one today because I've done 3 here. And normally when I do them, I do them in batches of 3. And normally when I do them, they're all sold before I make the video. In this case, I've done 3. They're all identical. Well, they're all handmade, so they're all unique, individual, but they're all identical. And one is for sale. The other 2 are spoken for and paid for by customers, but the other one is for sale. I have checked to make sure that my Fandu plates fit and they line up and everything on all of them. So these here, the plates are just for show. They're mine, but I slap them on there to take pictures to send to the customer so they know exactly what they're getting. So some of the features of the belt. Okay, so a normal replica, I'm going to come up here. I'm filming in a new room, so I apologize if the lighting, I'm doing my best. This is the brightest room in the house. A normal replica has what's called veg tan leather on the front. It's the leather into which we tool and stitch and whatever else you want. And the back is a pre-done leather. So typically the front is a 9 ounce, so 3.5 millimeter, I believe. And the back is a very thin 1 ounce. This is already pre-dyed and pre-finished. We just glue it on, other re-leather guys, and then cut it off. Or some guys use vinyl. I don't. But and then the front is the actual veg tan leather into which we tool, and then we dye it ourselves, and we apply the top coat and cut it and all that. These belts are different in the sense that, like the original Crumrine made by the Harris Leather Company, the front and the back are both veg tan. Okay? So, the downside to this for the person making the belt is the front and the back need to be thinner. You don't want 3.5 mil front, 3.5 mil back. You got a 7 mil belt, way too thick. Okay, so you got to find thinner leather. It's also, I had to find some really clean hides because this whole thing, I mean, it's almost 60 inches from left to right, and there's no tooling. This is all stitched. Okay, so a former customer of mine loaned me a copy of the Big Gold Book a while back, and I used the pictures in there as best I could to create a really detailed image in my mind of what the Luxe strap actually involved. And there's a picture in there where you can see the 2 layers have come separated. The stitching is broken. And it's basically exactly what I've done here. It's 2 layers stitched together, and the edge I've finished here with beeswax. The other thing, when Fandu made their straps, I don't know if they do this still, but I know originally they weren't long enough. And when I say that, I mean, if you remember back in the 80s when this belt debuted, Flair used to fold the belt in the back and clasp it. So the snaps were fastened in the back, but the belt could be folded over so there was a crease here and a crease here, and he would hold it like that in the promos. Well, you couldn't do that with the Fandu one because it wasn't quite long enough. At least that was my experience when I got it. So with these, I've made them longer. They're, like I said, almost 60 inches long, so they're quite long. Just so you're aware of what you're getting if you do order one of these now or in the future when I make them. This border here is all hand stitched. I have to go through and punch the holes, and then it's called saddle stitching, where you take waxed leather thread, and you put a needle at both ends, put the middle through the hole, and then you basically, in a figure 8 pattern, weave all the way around both sides of the belt, front and back. That's what takes the longest in these ones. Additionally, 2 other things. One, the color on these. No 2 are identical. But there is a picture in the Big Gold Book where they've removed the side plates and the main plate, and you can see what the leather dye used to look like. Now, that has darkened over time. But you can see what the leather used to look like, and I spend hours kind of mixing dyes to make sure I get it as close to that as I can possibly get it. And additionally, with this round of straps, I tried something new that I haven't done before. I applied something called neat's foot oil and something called mink oil to the strap between the dyeing process and the finishing process. And the result is that it's supposed to make the leather a lot more pliable. I'd never used it before, but yeah, it really did. I'm going to be doing that moving forward. Like, it really made these quite flexible, right? So I'm happy with how these turned out. Like the other ones, I try and make it as close as I can to the Harris one. On the original Harris, the property stamp is in the back in the middle. Normally my stamp would be at the end. But for these, and only these, I do it in the back. So anyway, the two customers, two of these are already, like I said, spoken for, bought and paid for. But the third is available. So if you're interested, at the price currently on these is $320 US. It's more than my usual price for a strap, but I'm going to be honest, this stitching takes way longer, and getting the right dyes has to be sprayed on. It can't be brushed on. It takes a very, very long time. So it's $320 US plus shipping. All my prices are plus shipping, and it's available now. So if you are interested, send me an email, and we can work something out. Anyway, yeah, the Fandu Luxe Crumrine batch. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the long video also.